Hey everybody, my name is Connor Norton,
And I'm Jessica.
and today we're going to be talking about some very unfortunate casualties that took place on February 14th, 2000 at a restaurant in Texas. So what happened? In this building fire and collapse, a 44-year-old male and a 30-year-old female, both career firefighters, died in a restaurant fire. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Central Dispatch received a call from a civilian who reported that there was a fire coming through the roof of the restaurant. There was a Medic 73 that was first to arrive on the scene, followed by Engine 76, which had a captain, apparatus operator, and two firefighters, which were the two victims in this incident. Upon arrival, dispatch was notified by the two companies that there was visible fire emanating through the roof. The captain on Engine 76 radioed dispatch reporting that he and his crew were going to complete a fast attack, which is when firefighters enter the structure with a 1 3/4-inch hose line and knock down the fire with the water from their engine. Approximately 2 minutes later, Ladder 76, a captain, FAO, and one other firefighter arrived on the scene, and the captain assumed incident command. After making forcible entry, the victims entered with a 1 3/4-inch hose line as their captain finished donning his gear. Shortly after, the captain entered the structure, met up with his crew, and then exited the structure to assist with the advancement of their hose line. Engine 73 arrived on the scene, and one firefighter entered the structure with another 1 3/4-inch hose line. He stretched the hose line past the front counter and around a wall in the dining area. The captain from 76 re-entered the structure and followed a hose line, which he believed the victims were on. After meeting up with the firefighter on the end of the hose line, the captain exited and re-entered the structure a second time. As he followed the line, debris began to fall, and there was a visible fire through the middle section of the kitchen. And soon after, District 10, which was the district chief, arrived on scene and completed a scene size-up and assumed command. Due to the heavy fire he observed, he requested all companies convert to a defensive attack and evacuate the structure. Unfortunately, at this point, the middle roof section over the kitchen of the building had collapsed. An interior evacuation took place, and neither of the victims exited. The incident commander sent several firefighters inside to search for the victims, which they finally located and removed, victim 1 at 5:30 a.m. He was then transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. The firefighters located victim 2 at 7:13 a.m., and she was pronounced dead at the scene. The scene was then turned over to the City Fire and Arson Bureau, which declared the incident to be a crime scene due to arson. Now, the building involved in this incident served as a restaurant measuring 110 feet by 39 feet. The structure was one story, formed on a concrete slab foundation. The wall system consisted of half-inch drywall, 2x4-inch wall studs, 3.5-inch insulation, half-inch low-density combustible fiber board, and exterior brick. The roof system was formed using lightweight wood trusses consisting of 2x4-inch and 2x6-inch lumber connected with metal gasket plates. The total span of the trusses over the majority of the structure was 47 feet, 6.5 inches. There were no interior load-bearing walls noted, and the trusses were placed 2 feet on center with 2x8-inch lateral bracing. The exterior roof system consisted of 5/8-inch plywood sheathing with fiberglass asphalt built-up roofing. A false roof was built around the entire roof section of the building, and there was a total of 5 HVAC units located on the roof, three of which were 10-ton units and 2 were 5-ton units. There was a total of 4 exhaust vents located on the roof above the kitchen area, and the interior ceiling of the building was suspended 1 foot from the trusses, using suspended ceiling panels. This building was not equipped with a sprinkler system, and according to the codes listed above, a sprinkler system was not required. Additionally, the City Code and Enforcement Department did not have any previous violations listed for this building. The City Fire and Arson Bureau declared the cause of this incident as arson. The origin of the fire was determined to be in the office, which extended into the void space above the suspended ceiling. I'm going to pass it off to Jessica.
As previously noted, the restaurant involved in this incident was constructed with lightweight roof trusses. It is calculated that lightweight roof trusses, which are made out of wooden members as small as 2x4 in timber, can collapse in as little as 10 minutes. Trusses are created with specific load amounts in mind. For example, a certain building may have HVAC units, compressors, air ducts, cooling lines, restroom ventilation, etc. There are additional loads that can be applied after the trusses are in place as well, such as antenna, flags, banners, or improperly stored items. All of this weight contributes to how fast these trusses will fail in the event of a fire. It is important to remember that an additional load not incorporated into the design can shorten the amount of time it takes for a truss to fail. A truss void, or truss loft, is the space between the ceiling and the roof that is not large enough for an attic, but still creates a path for fire to spread quickly. When doing a scene size-up, it is important to identify signs of truss void fires. One clear indicator that the trusses have been exposed to the flame is to see fire or heavy smoke coming from the roof. These truss fires harbor a concealed flame that is ready to burst out when exposed to oxygen. When the fire in a truss is exposed to oxygen, the reaction can range from deflagration to a detonation, from a backdraft or flashover to an explosion capable of blowing the building apart. In these cases, the ceiling below a truss void should be pulled and examined by firefighters standing by an exit for a quick escape. As soon as it is known that a truss has been exposed to fire, firefighters operating above or below them should be evacuated immediately. Suspended ceiling panels are very common in restaurant-type fires. This is important to remember because if a suspended ceiling were to collapse with firefighters under it, they would become entangled in a steel supporting grid, wire, and other falling debris. The space between the cord and the top of the truss is just another space for the fire to linger outside the sight of firefighters' views. Suspended ceiling panels also provide a void for the fire to hide. Using thermal imaging cameras as part of the exterior scene size-up would help to find the fire heat source and reduce firefighter casualties.
Right. So after the fire occurred, the department and investigators made a list of recommendations to ensure this type of loss would not happen again. These are their 3 top recommendations. The first recommendation is that fire departments should ensure that the department's standard operating procedures are followed. This basically means that crews should stay together, especially when performing a fast attack. The company officer should remain with his or her crew and provide the appropriate level of supervision. This means that they need to make sure that the firefighters enter and exit together, and no firefighter operates alone. When the decision is made to make a fast attack, company officers should also be equipped with a portable radio, which will permit the officer to communicate directly with the incident commander. If problems do occur, the incident commander could be immediately notified. Their second recommendation is that fire departments should ensure that fire command always maintains close accountability for all personnel at the fire scene. Now, accountability on the fire ground can be maintained by several methods, one of which is a system using individual tags for every firefighter and officer responding to an incident, or by a company officer's writing list stating the names, assigned tools, and the duties of each member responding with every fire company. With this method, one copy of the list should be posted in the fire apparatus and one copy carried by the company officer. The list posted in the apparatus is used just in case the company officer or the entire company is reported missing. This method also recommends that firefighters should not work beyond the sight or sound of the supervising officer unless equipped with a portable radio. The radio is to ensure accountability and indicate completion of the firefighter's assigned duties. The third recommendation is that fire departments should ensure that incident command conducts an initial scene size-up of the incident before initiating firefighting efforts, and should continually evaluate the risk versus gain during operations at an incident. Now, one of the most important size-up duties of the first in officers is locating the fire and determining its severity. This information lays the foundation for the entire operation. It determines the number of firefighters and the amount of apparatus needed to control the blaze, assists in determining the most effective point of fire extinguishment attack, and the most effective method of ventilating heat and smoke. A proper scene size-up begins from the moment the alarm is received and continues until the fire is under control. With a scene size-up, there are several factors that must be evaluated, such as the type of structure, the time of the day, contents of the structure, and potential hazards. And lastly, the scene size-up should also include risk versus gain during incident operations. Thank you. And these are our references.